You just got home, your lawn looks like a field. You've been putting it off for 2 weeks because nobody has the time anymore to spend an hour and a half pushing a mower around in the sun. That used to be a problem with robot mowers too. You'd spend the whole afternoon burying boundary wire before the thing would cut a single blade of grass. Well, that's not how the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200 works. No wire, no RTK base station sitting in the corner of your garden. It just maps the yard itself using a 360-degree 3D LiDAR sensor and an AI camera, and then it gets on with the job. That combination caught my attention immediately because for a lot of people the installation hassle is exactly why they haven't pulled the trigger on a robot mower yet. In this review, I'm going to walk you through the setup, the app, how it actually performs in the real world, how it handles Home Assistant and whether that price tag is justified. If this video helps you decide whether this is the right mower for you, a like and a subscribe would mean the world to me. Let's get into it! First things first, MOVA sent me this mower to test it. They did not influence what I am going to say in this video. This is my honest opinion about the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200. So that said, let's unbox this puppy. Out of the box you get the mower itself, a charging station, a power supply, 8 ground stakes, a HACS key, spare blades and screws, a cleaning brush and the usual quick start guide and manual. First impressions? This thing is substantial. At 13.8 kilograms it's about the weight of a loaded carry-on bag and it feels every gram of it. The housing is solid plastic, not flimsy at all, and the off-road wheels look properly grippy. The LiDAR tower sits on top. It's the most distinctive design element and it makes the mower immediately recognizable. One pleasant surprise, no tools required to install the charging station. Just stake it to the ground and plug it in. Let's start with what separates this from cheaper robot mowers. Most budget options still require you to bury a boundary wire. It's basically an electric fence for a lawnmower. MOVA has ditched that completely. The MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200 uses its UltraView 2.0 system, that 360 degrees 3D LiDAR spinning on top, plus a 1080p HDR camera to map your entire garden in 3 dimensions. Detection range goes up to 70 meters. It works at night, in strong sunlight and in gardens with awkward layouts. The edge cutting is generally impressive. UltraTrim 1.0 gets within 5 cm of walls and hedges using a movable disc that physically shifts to cover the gap. For flat edges where your lawn meets paving, it actually rides up onto the edge to cut flush. Compared to most mowers that leave a 10 to 20 cm untouched strip, this is a real differentiator. Then there's TrueGuard, a built-in security mode that uses the camera to patrol your garden when the mower isn't mowing. Live video feed, motion alerts, even two-way audio through the app, it's like getting a garden security camera for free. The one caveat, the 4G anti-theft link module that adds real-time GPS tracking is an optional extra on the 1200. You don't get it included, unlike on the 1600 and 2000 models. That's a bit stingy at this price point. The 1200 is rated for lawns up to 1200 square meters, roughly a third of an acre. The 5HA battery covers 170 to 190 square meters per charge in 70 to 90 minutes, so for a full lawn it docks, recharges in 65 minutes and picks up exactly where it left off. Cutting height is 20 centimeters. Cutting height can be set from 3 to 10 centimeters via the app. Slopes up to 45%, obstacles up to 4 centimeters, passages as narrow as 60 centimeters, it handles all of those. Noise sits under 57 decibels, which is library quiet. IPX6 waterproofing means you can hose it down after a muddy season. Dual map support is included, so if you have a front and a back garden, one mower can cover both as long as you pick up a second charging station. Setup is honestly one of the smoother experiences I've had with a robot mower. You place the charging station, stake it down, plug it in, power up the mower and pair it to the MOVA Home app over Bluetooth. That takes maybe 5 minutes. Then comes the boundary walk. You drive the mower manually around the perimeter of your garden using the app's on-screen joystick, essentially teaching it where the edges are. This takes 5 to 15 minutes depending on garden complexity, but you only have to do it once. After the walk, the Mower AI generates the full map, which you can view in both 2D and 3D. You then draw any no-go zones, pool area, flower beds, that one tricky corner directly on the map. This mower cannot determine the perimeter of your lawn on its own, but since it's a one-time action, it's not much of a problem. From that point, you set your schedule and let it go. The auto resume feature is rock solid. Cut a session short, interrupt it for anything, and it navigates back to exactly where it stopped. One thing to be aware of, this is a cloud-dependent device. It needs an internet connection and a MOVA account to function. There's no local control option. That's worth knowing before you buy, and I'll come back to this in the Home Assistant section. The MOVA Home app is available on both iOS and Android, and it's one of the better robot mower apps I've used. The main screen gives you live status, mowing mode and the map with the mower's current position updating in real time. You can switch between 5 mowing modes. All area for a full lawn cut, zone mowing to target specific areas, edge only mode, spot mowing for a small targeted patch or full manual control. There are 3 cutting pattern options: standard parallel rows, checkerboard and crisscross, and yes, there are creative patterns like hearts and squares if you want to turn your lawn into a canvas. The dual schedule feature is generally useful. You set separate plans for spring and summer versus autumn and winter, accounting for different growth rates. Cutting height adjusts from within the app, no need to touch the machine. The app feels polished overall, but it is cloud reliant. If MOVA's servers have a problem, your mower has a problem. That's a risk worth factoring in. In actual use, the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200 mows with a precision that makes most other robot mowers look sloppy. The U-shaped path planning produces clean parallel stripes, not the random wandering older mowers were notorious for. Obstacle avoidance is generally impressive. Shoes, plant pots, children's toys detected and navigated around without bumping. Pets trigger a low-speed safety mode automatically. You have to play with the menu settings to fine-tune this. I set my detection height too high and at that moment my gloves were run over. So make sure you set the detection height low enough for small objects. The edge cutting does what it promises. Within 5 cm of a wall is generally useful, though on irregular surfaces it's occasionally a fraction more. I have a big tree in my garden and the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200 did not have any issues with it. And it's really quiet. You can easily run this mower at night without being disturbed by it. Battery performance should hold up from 70 to 90 minutes. To be honest, my garden is too small, so I couldn't really test it. Quick pause here. If you're finding this review useful, these videos take a serious amount of time to produce. If you'd like to help, you can do that through Patreon, Ko-fi or a paid YouTube channel membership. Links are on screen. Now back to the mower. So, Home Assistant. There is no official integration for the MOVA LiDAX Ultra screen in the Home Assistant integration catalog. Not in Core and not in HACS as a first-party add-on. What does exist is a community HACS integration called Dreame Mower by developer Anton Douwert on GitHub. It connects using your MOVA Home app credentials and in theory exposes your mower as a device in Home Assistant. However, and this is important, it's just released and only supports basic functionalities. The bottom line, if you're a Home Assistant user expecting a polished, reliable integration, you're not there yet. You can set basic automations like start mowing at 8 AM or dock whenever it rains. There's also a live map functionality that shows you the mower map in Home Assistant. Nice! Cloud dependency applies here too. There's no local API access. Double check the Home Assistant integration before going live. The MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200 is priced from around €1,099 in Europe, which puts it firmly in the mid to premium category for wire-free robot mowers. For context, LiDAR-based boundary-free mowers from competitors like Mammotion, Dreame, Ecovacs and Husqvarna fall within a similar price range. You can buy directly from MOVA's website or via Amazon. Links in the description. So, who should consider buying the MOVA LiDAX Ultra 1200? If you have a garden up to around 1200 square meters, you're done with the idea of boundary wire installation and you want a mower that actually handles edges properly, this is a generally strong choice. The LiDAR plus camera navigation is reliable, the edge cutting is one of the best I've tested at this price point, and the app is polished. And on top of that, you get basic navigation functionality in Home Assistant. Who is it not for? If you're deep in Home Assistant and need a well-integrated, locally controlled device, then you might want to wait. There's only a cloud-based community version at the moment. It does work, but if you want all your devices to be local, this isn't the mower for you. Also, if you have a larger garden, look at the 1600 or 2000 models, which include the 4G link module for free rather than as an optional extra. My take? MOVA has built something technically impressive here, and the wire-free setup generally removes the biggest barrier most people have to buying a robot mower. At €1,099 it earns its price. Just go in with realistic expectations on the Home Assistant side. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, it really helps. And a massive thank you to everyone who already supports the channel through Patreon, Ko-fi or a paid membership. You make it possible for me to keep making honest reviews like this one. If you'd like to join them, the links are in the description. Every single bit of support helps keep this going, and I genuinely appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye! Battery... Hold up.